Read the disclaimer. Hello everyone and welcome to the Beyblade X episode review. Would you look at that? Would you look at Mall of Bays is right. I don't know how it got there, but we have pre-orders still left for Weiss Tiger. We have some new stuff on there like the Black Hell's Chain, which we're going to be getting to probably after this weekend. And also we have pre-orders up for the Koro Drawn Sword. Now listen, if you want to support the channel, which is an optional way, you can check out there. Or if you want to get Hasbro Beyblade X, dude, we have an affiliate link of Amazon in the description, so check that out. Yeah, but let's kind of get into this episode. So this is basically kind of extending parts of the chapter of Bird versus Pakkun and just like really doing slow pacing with it. But yeah, that's pretty much this week's episode. So it basically starts off with Bird practicing with Hell's Hammer against Common X, with Common X using Drawn Dagger, and Multi's basically highlighting the features and the gimmick of Hammer and how its ability to like smash into its opponents. Common beats him right away, which, you know, I mean, if you're trying to practice a technique, Common, you don't need to defeat Bird as easily. I think in general, by the way, to mention this, I do like the music really used in the episode. And in general, I think the music recently has been really like a little bit more memorable, or they just finally got someone just to compose more tracks, because I swear, man, I've started to notice it more and more, but like there's a lot of good tracks in Beyblade X just for anime OST that I really like listening to. Like, it's a lot more memorable. The only ones I was thinking about that are like super memorable are like Burns theme. You know, like the whole Bay time shift theme whenever he talks, whatever. Those are like the ones I memorize a lot. Trying to think what else. Not much else, because I feel a lot of them are kind of new and recent, but I do like the OST and I wanted to mention that. So he's basically practicing his technique called Hammer Smash, where it's basically using Hell's Hammer's ability to smash into the opponent, and Multi basically says to Bird that, listen, if you're going to use a technique like Hammer Smash, because he's basically trying to just like master Hell's Hammer, he does need to practice with it quite a bit in order to do well with it, which, you know, is pretty much adapting again similar to the chapter and trying to practice the technique and master. I do think it's a little bit strange that, which we'll get to at the end of the episode, that the one thing that he should have done, I still don't really think I liked that writing in the anime or the manga for that matter. But Common X beats him once again with Drawn Sword, and basically they kind of make this point again where it's like, oh, I have this new Bay, why am I losing? Even though they already established this with Hell's Chain, which I think, I don't know, it kind of gets a little bit repetitive, but it's obviously the idea that just because you have a new Bay, it does not necessarily mean you are stronger. Like, he should already know this, but you can make the justification saying that, well, even though they were kind of repeating this same point, Bird is a noob, so maybe he just didn't get it across. Maybe he just didn't understand. I don't know. Anyways, Bird is basically training and practicing and blah, blah, blah. After all this training, he eventually masters Hammer Smash. Now, one part of this episode I don't like is the pacing, and that's because they just bring in Zuganic and they're like, hey, oh, you want some sparring partners? And then they're like practicing with Zuganic, and I'm like, oh, okay, are we gonna see it? Oh, no, just get, why bring them into the sushi place? What are they doing in this episode? And it just went nowhere. It just went nowhere. Yeah, we're gonna get some sparring. You don't see anything that happens. No real purpose in the episode other than just to fill out the padding. Anyways, they basically get to the place, your introductions of Team Persona, and then after Team Dream. So this is where, you know, it's a little dragged out, because they go through basically each of them one by one, and I feel it could have been maybe a little bit faster. Like, okay, they introduced Pakkun, this influencer guy. Then after the undefeated executioner, which is Rex. I also do want to mention that I really love Queen's entrance. I think that was done really nice visually when she's walking in. But Queen Monju, obviously this pro blader that is a veteran. They all appear and everything. I thought the direction was fine. Then after they're just debating on who goes first. Oh, I think Queen, what did she say? Didn't she want to make it like a knockout battle? And then after they just go over the bladers, so then Pakkun's basically this blader that copies bays. That's like his whole thing. Copied Bird's bay. Well, what a surprise. Okay, so actually, here's the big change here, because originally in the manga, right, they're surprised because that bay never debuted at all, and he just somehow has the base. And then after he's claiming that he made the base himself. In the anime, the big difference here is that it's like, no, I just copied that bay. So it's like the difference there is like the timing of the debut, because with the manga, it's like you don't know who originally owned that bay. In the anime, it's more, no, he just did the thing he usually does. Is anything really else important? Oh, they also address the fact that he very likely stole the data, because there's no way in just that one debut he would have been able to copy it in time. He basically does his Pakkun crash, smashes into the bay, burst, and defeats him. So the big difference here is, which I think is fine, is just kind of the context of how he kind of has this bay. But more or less everything is still similar in that regard. Like, it's more or less the same how they had it set up. So he's pretending to be friendly. You know, he's like, oh, wow, you did such a good job. And he whispers to Bird, like, the how to utilize Hell's... Well, hey, you know, he gave advice. What did he say? Something along the lines of, breaking the opponent's stance and crushing them is how Hell's Hammer wins. And then after he calls him weak, well, he calls him small fry or whatever, and then he takes a selfie with him. I think the music for Pakkun was then actually done really good. You really despise him, so yeah, they did a good job. Multi's really upset because she didn't teach him that technique, which is my thing. If they're practicing a battle, like, what was it, like 300 times more, which I know it's the anime and whatever, but dude, she couldn't teach him the stupid hammer crash technique? Like, the fuck? What are we doing? So Multi basically just wants to humiliate and defeat him, and then that's next week's episode, just dedicated to Wizard Rod versus Pakkun. Yep, that's... Yeah. Let's just kind of wrap it up now at this point, just because, you know, I've already kind of said whatever I wanted to say. My overall thoughts on this episode, I thought it was okay, you know. I think everything was a 3 except for, I think, the characterization. I think, you know, that was a 5. No, we're like at 17 out of 30. I think the pacing is a little bit, you know, jarring. I thought the battle was okay visually. I like that they gave his Hell's Hammer a purple trail when it's battling, so you can kind of see the difference. And once again, the mention of mallabase.com. We have Weiss Tiger pre-order still, just to mention. We have other Beyblade Burst products, Beyblade X products, and this is an optional way to support the channel. It does keep the channel alive, but yeah, thank you to all the support on the Weiss Tiger pre-orders. Greatly appreciated. And we will be looking into the Hell's Chain thing next week, because obviously we've been taking pre-orders of it, and I'm just waiting for the stock just to get here. So you'll probably see some content with that eventually this week. Anyways, I want to say thank you all for watching. Have an amazing day. If you are new here, subscribe and subscribe and comment your thoughts. And yeah, I'll probably do a video probably covering all of these battles, whatever. I think I do have a spare Hell's Hammer, so that'll be fun to kind of do. But I want to say thank you all for watching again, and have an amazing day. Take care, and bye! Oh, and probably also, over the next few days, we'll try to get through those other Hasbro Beyblade X reviews. Hopefully. I don't know. If my sleep allows me to.